click the record button, and then say, yo, what up? How's it going, buddy?
We're here again.
And we're here again. Okay, so for everybody at home on YouTube, a lot of this information is going to be cut out. We started to do this deck doc, and we tried to do it via text messaging in chat, but we were just a little delayed, and so we just waited a bit, and then we got on cam. So this deck started out as a Wolfwood deck, that its idea is to play Coordinated Strike, and then I went, wait a minute, we should play Vash, and then I went, wait a minute, we should play Levi. And so now we've got Drop here to help us parse through which character and which idea, which strategy we want to implore. So, what are your thoughts, buddy?
So the idea of the Levi combo with ambush thrust literally just makes it worse Toga, because that's what Toga does basically with Dual Needle Lunge. But Vash gives speed, and I've always been partial to find speed within your foundations. It's how I've always liked playing the game. Don't know why. Probably because I started with Chaos and feeling cute.
Sure.
But
and so you'd rather go back to the Wolfwood idea rather than Vash or Levi.
Can I read Draw Your Swords one more time?
Yeah.
It says damage. So I think going with Vash, basically giving effective 3 speed technically with Draw Your Swords because of stun 1.
Sure.
And a damage wouldn't. I think that's a better avenue to go with.
Okay.
Which means we could cut out avoiding conflict, and I think that's really it.
Well, avoiding conflict still says when it's milled, you give +2 +2, right? And
I was thinking if we did Levi, we cut avoiding.
Milling on every one. So yeah. I'm going to fight you back on Levi, Rolf, and being, quote, worse Toga. Toga doesn't get to play Coordinated Strike twice.
This is fair.
You going Coordinated Strike into whatever, lifting Coordinated Strike into Coordinated Strike is like, this is a 6 mid for 12 and then a 6 mid for 14. Right? If you're like on turn 4, turn 5. Like it just, and if they go to deadlock, you stun 8 them across that turn. Like this card in Levi, if you get to just double tap with this card, you kill anybody in the game. And Toga doesn't get to do that. And so like there is an idea of like you use the Dual Needle Lunge and the ambush thrust early to soften them up, and the Coordinated Strike just to murder them on the turn afterwards. But so I wanted to put that out into the universe, and don't feel pressured into being like, well, shit, Coordinated Strike is so sick if you want to play Vash, because I think Vash can also do this same idea.
I have to look at my cards again, see if I have Levi, but for now let's build Levi, and if not, I'll redo the list as a Vash deck and just send it to you next month.
Okay. So we will cut the Vash, and let's rock it. So if the idea is to play Death Levi, Dual Needle Lunge into Ambush Thrust is just the best thing that you can do in this character. This is a 4 high for 6 into a 5 mid for 5 into a 4 high for 6 into a 5 mid for 5 into a 4 high for 6. Off of 2 cards, it should just be a 4 of both. You just have to play the 4 ofs.
Yep.
From here, when we look at our high blocks, I like Finger Daggers as a 4 mid for 7, hopefully draw a bonus card. Sell me on Gory Stab as I go and I look for other.
Gory Stab was solely in there for a additional high block that I was like, ooh, this would be good with like Jean, Bertolt, all these momentum decks that are prominent in the format right now, that are going to be in the format coming up.
I think that is fair.
Pretty sure Amajiki's still going to be there just because he still got support on Chaos, and it's still a good deck. And it's just having the momentum hype. As you can see, it was in the sideboard, but I threw it in to the main board as like, I need a high block. What's a good high block?
Yeah. I really like Gouging Needle as an attack.
Mm-hmm.
0 high block. That is a 6 low for 5. So even by itself, it's like really potent. And it has a powerful 3 to utilize said dual needle lunge after it's gone to momentum over and over again.
Yep.
And you can do the same idea with learned technique, depending on how you like. This one hits a little harder on base, has that same powerful 3, has a worse block, but is better at blocking later, right? Like
Yep.
like going learned technique, block, respond. Next one's easier to play. Pick it back up with Levi, and then learn technique block is like really silly. Like it's pretty good. But like if you really like Gory Stab, I am down to do it.
I think keeping it in the sideboard and putting learn technique in the main, just for the if I do face the Amajiki or stuff like that, is a good idea.
Okay.
Still.
Chat's also bringing up a really good point of Deception Dagger, which is pretty good in our deck. Even as a I stun 2, I lifted, I stun 2 again. As an opener, it also, once it's in the momentum, gives anything that you want stun to, and it also removes your rival's risky maneuvers. But is also $13 trillion. So if you don't already have Deception Dagger,
I have a singular copy.
I think it at a 1-of is okay. I think like having a 1-of copy of Dagger, 1-of copy of like Learn Technique, or even bringing Finger Daggers down to a 3-of is okay.
That's good with me.
Which one are you thinking?
Let's go 3-of Finger Daggers.
3-of Finger Daggers, 1-of Deception. I think that you're gonna like Deception a lot.
When Toga was announced back in set 5, was it now?
Yeah.
Or was it set 6? Toga set 5.
Set 6. Yeah, it was Jetburn for Toga 3.
Yeah. Toga 5. Toga 3 was Jetburn.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm building Life Toga. We were at the Nationals when they announced it, and I was on UVS the night of day 1 building Toga 3.
Hell yeah.
With a fellow Life weapon gamer.
Hell yeah. You said you really liked throwing Knife Lunge as a card.
Yep.
I think this card's super cool.
Like I said, it was in the Life build, and I've wanted to find a place to put it in again, just because it's kooky. It's basically a card pull technique of card pull version for Sports Arena. Is that
Yeah.
Stadium Festival, whichever one it is.
Yeah, Sports Festival Stadium. In my Levi deck, I was playing Grin and Barrett because it's a 4-diff 6 low for 6, and that's a lot of damage. On the 2 low block, that's also still a weapon. That's how I was feeling about it. But I don't think that you necessarily don't need this. I think having some amount of like just playing the throwing knife lunges is acceptable. You know?
And the reason why I liked it was because even if you partially block something, you're still taking half damage +1.
Yeah. So it'd be 3 total with Levi.
Yeah. And then, but with Sports Stadium, it's now an additional 1. So it's
you know what?
+2.
This card's asset hate. This should just be a 3-of in your deck because it's asset hate.
Which also gets rid of the vertical maneuvering.
Yeah.
Which is a dumb card.
Because like just playing like this loop, and then just like throwing the knife lunge afterwards, and just not even trying to hit with it, just enhance card pool flip during its own attack, break your asset is like very good because they've lost 5 health. Now on to what we are going to discuss, and I don't think you're gonna like me for. I think this card's bad.
The reason why I did it was because I built a fire version of Wolfwood and was like, this is really good with all the fire like mill effects and things that like to be milled with fire, like Hell Spider, I think that's one of the big ones. I also had Twisting Azure in there just because Wolfwood and Twisting Azure are like candy and rice. Candy and kids, they go together perfectly.
You said candy and rice?
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm tired.
That's okay. Hey, that's okay.
I've
That's
been
okay.
up since like 7 this morning.
I just wasn't sure if it was an expression I just hadn't heard. It's okay if you messed up the expression. I was just like, I've never heard this expression before.
Yeah.
Anywho, I think this move just doesn't do enough damage. I think this is a 4 mid for 5 that... Have you ever played with, it's the Bakugo Fury card. I don't remember that
I
name.
haven't touched anything Bakugo really.
This...
All honesty.
We'll find it, I believe. We'll find it. I should do this.
If it's before set 2,
It's a
I
set
have
3 card.
before
Stun
set
Grenade.
like
You ever play Stun Grenade?
I have play tested with it. I try to avoid the Fury package because I know that gets very expensive very quickly.
That's fair. This card does the exact same thing as your weapon packaged card, except for with Furies. Enhance, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, add a Fury attack this way, discard the remaining cards. Does the same thing here. Mill 3, add up to 1 weapon attack you this way, mill this way to your hand. Right? They're the same thing. Right? We don't even care about the weapon foundation, we just care about the attack. This card has this added bonus if it gets extra to its stun, and it has powerful too. It already starts as a better printed statted card. This card just happens to have a deadlock of your rival breaks 1 foundation. If they have 11 foundations, them breaking 1 doesn't matter.
Yeah.
This card is just a worse version of this card, and I could make a 10-minute compilation of every time that I have played a stun grenade on stream, milled my 3 and missed. I could just do that. Out of the hundreds.
I think it could be like a 20
20
minute. It'd be like a 20-minute compilation because I've seen multiple on stream.
And you're going to get that exact same gaming experience with Double Blade Spin. Double Blade Spin, I don't think is good enough.
That's understandable.
Anything.
This was a test run.
We could play it at a 1-of and be fine. Puts us to 22 attacks, that's an acceptable number. I want to go a little lower because of how Levi works, and the fact that we are doing this to replay a ton. Yep. I think that we could get away with 21, maybe even 20. But I think that if you like this card and you want to test it, a singleton,
I say take it out.
Let's get rid of it. It's gone. Thank goodness.
I have it in my fire list for Wolfwood, which has the core borrow version of it.
Yeah.
So I have 2 instances of it.
Okay. From here, we now get to figure out, are we going to do this? We now have to figure out, are we planning on sideboarding any characters? Because so far, with our attack package, we do not have to sideboard anything.
With our foundations, we're still good.
With our foundations, we're still good. If we really like Sports Festival Stadium, if we really like it, we could play the air-attuned action, strategic maneuvers, and go and find it from a discard pile. If we like it that much.
It's a 1-of, and it's meant there for like because I think Airy is going to be big this set because Airy is rarely important with all these big damage throws and Smiling Titan running around. Airy is going to be important. Having the Sports Fest Arena say, oh cool, you did Airy, you still take 1 more.
Yeah.
I think going solely focusing in on Levi with Air Death might be the way.
If so, then let's take this and toss this in the sideboard, and we can talk about it, right? Let's do action asset. Yep. We want to be on the death symbol, air attuned, and see. Chomp is a crazy card. It's one of my least favorite cards to play against in the whole game.
You could always throw in the 1-of Genkai's because that's a fun card.
It is a fun card. I'm not a Genkai's lover. I own 0, so I never put it in my decks.
It's there for me to cut, basically.
5 attacks with, or 5 attacks with only 2 attack cards.
Yep.
Can't play this one. I think there's an idea where we actually double up on the Sports Festival. So we'll put the second one in. Because I do think that this card is kind of crazy in our deck. It does say that our character is just +1/+2, which is silly. Okay, so when it comes to actions assets, right? We've got, I think if we did like 2 sports festival, 2 maneuvering gear, and then just 2 strategic maneuvers.
Yep.
I think that we would be a-okay.
Which means we can completely cut avoiding conflict altogether.
Yeah, I'm down. We have a sub theme of mill, but like we don't need that card.
It's not a main point anymore.
Yeah. From here, we now get to go look at our foundations. 0 diffs. Yes. 4 of. We want to play a bunch of attack cards. Pretty difficulty of 4. Difficulty, let's take a look. 5, 6, 8, 9. I think that giving these moves +2 speed is not a bad idea. I think skill towards
especially the ambush throw.
Super good. Yeah, being able to ambush thrust and make sure that it connects is pretty good. Right? Destroy foundation, your rival has 4 more committed foundations, it gets +3 damage. So then it's a 7 mid 4 8.
8.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. I don't hate this is my chance at the end of the string and being like, oh, I'm done looping. Let's do this thing. That's kind of neat. Display of might doesn't work. We don't care about that. Shrewd observation is fine. Adaptive strategy is kind of a cool card. We will see. Revel builds one. No. Frightening Calm is probably just not, like, if we have the idea of draw your swords, we just don't need Frightening Calm, right?
Yep.
This makes sense. Dangerous Combatant, I don't think that we're going to play this card because it does ask us to have more committed than ready. I think we just, like, 4x the settlings and we're probably okay, especially because this guy says commit, draw, an attack card.
The reason why I was liking the combatants is because of draw your swords, which stuns.
Fair.
And then you have death maneuvers to make them big, faster. I have a lot of instances of 1/1 for a foundation.
That is taxing our stage a little bit because of the amount of destroy we want to do, but I am down to at least give it a shot. Refreshing Slice is kind of cool. Struggling. I don't hate forcing either, but I don't think it's going to happen in this deck. Okay. 2 divs. What are we missing? Speed of 6 or more gets 2 damage. Nah, get out is a pretty good card.
I own 1.
1 is all we would need. Swords. Final Words is a good card. Sins of the Past is a great card. Aaron's Sidestep is a good card. This is how you beat Mikasa under your death deck. This one makes sense. This one. I love this card. We should play Immortal Shapeshifter at some amount in our deck.
I actually had it in the deck and ended up cutting it because I'm like, I need to get rid of high blocks because I had like 30 high blocks.
Fair.
And I'm like,
It might get cut again. Big Scoop. Always cool is important as a card.
There's 1 in main, 1 inside because I was once again trying to keep it semi-small-ish deck.
Sure. That's fair. How many 3 diffs are you willing to play?
I think I'm at like 2, maybe 3 right now.
Okay. This card's how you beat Mikasa.
I actually don't know how many 3Ds I'm playing because I really didn't look at them.
After your unblocked attack deals damage, seal 1 rival foundation. Indians once return, your attack is 1 speed.
Might be as a one-off.
Not both of these saying once per turn is kind of cringe.
it
It's not good enough.
could be a one of,
Yeah, it's
like
not good enough.
at most. I'm playing 2. I'm playing Enormous Axe.
Invincible Body. That card's super needed in the format right now. Okay. I put 100 cards in your sideboard. All right, so let's talk about the cards that are inside of your deck. So whenever we take a look at our difficulty, our 0 diffs make total sense. It's great. We now then go down to our blocks. We have 100 blocks. How do you feel about Keiko's Aid?
I really have always enjoyed Keiko's Aid. I really like the combo with Keiko's Aid into Fighting for Control, where it's like that. If you want this one attack, you're paying the price for it.
They are allowed to fail it, and your Keiko's Aid is wasted. I don't know if that matters to you at all. Yeah.
But sometimes they only have the last attack in hand, and that's typically when I do the Fighting for Control.
Sure.
When they need that one more, and they have just the one more.
Yeah. That's fair. Yeah, so I think man, because you're right, we've got a lot here, right? I think Eaten by the Bearded Titan is probably like the worst out of everything, and I want to cut Keiko's down to like a 2 of.
That's fine.
Yeah, and I just want to cut the Eaten by the Bearded Titan. Our job here is to kill people, and Eaten by the Bearded Titan does not do that.
The reason why I had it in Wolfwood was because Wolfwood turns the way that I was wanting it to go was more of a mid-range deck, and having the Bearded Titan just being there for defensive for the mid-range.
If that's if that's the case, we should cut Death Maneuvers instead.
I think Bearded Titan is the cut because
this deck does not have to be any faster than the Wolfwood deck that you already want to play. Like, it does not have to be any faster. Right, the thing is I got to get these high blocks down, and I have to play Force Settling. Like, Force Settling just has to exist in our deck. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And we might be a little flooded in high blocks. We're not even. It's still 21. Ooh, that's great.
I was very peculiar on all my blocks.
Yeah. The idea of Dangerous Combatant. Are you married to 4 Draw Your Swords?
No. I just kind of kept it 4 of just because of...
I'm going to drop this down to a 3 of, and I'm going to take Always Cool and put it up to a 2 of, and I'm positive that you're going to thank me whenever you have somebody try and go for your throat. Now on to our mid blocks. I am a massive League interview hater. TamCardwell.
I am a massive League interview lover.
Can I compromise and we put it at a 1 of?
That's perfectly fine. I have the LOV promo alt art as a 1 of, so I'm a-okay with this.
We're gonna take Enormous Axe and we're gonna push it up to a 3 of.
Okay.
If our goal here is to destroy foundations with Draw Your Swords / Death Maneuvers, we got to be able to replace them. We just have to.
And having the Enormous Axe where I can just commit it after I had like latent Botans, stuff like that. Yeah.
So what are we leaving on the table, right? We're leaving things like Split Body Control, right? After your attack is blocked, flip one of their foundations. Incredible control piece of saying, hey, you don't get to work. Immortal Shapeshifter. Anytime that I destroy a foundation, I get to gain a health, which we are destroying on Draw Your Swords. We're destroying on Death Maneuvers. We're destroying on itself. We're destroying whenever my rival makes me ruin. When they ruin me, I get to gain health, right? We are losing things like Skilled Swordsmanship. We're losing Chomp Genkais. These cards can exist in the sideboard, but they're pretty good in the main board. If you were like, if you felt like one Sports Festival Stadium is enough and you wanted to cut the strategic maneuvers, here's 3 cards. It could easily be like double Chomp and then 1 Genkais and probably feel great.
Genkais is a sideboard card, is what I've realized. It's not like a necessary in the main deck anymore. It might be good in Reiner just because it does say destroy, so you get to proc your own response. But other than that, it might not be good at all nowadays, just because of how fast the format is.
Sins of the Past. This card says that it removes risky encounters. And this card says sacrifice spin of momentum, draw 2 cards, and you get free momentum off of Dual Needle.
Yeah.
Which feels very good.
And it's a unique.
It is unique. I'd only played it at 1 of. But it's a
Yeah.
low block, right? And so like you could take out an always cool with it if you wanted to.
Which
or
is in
something
the
along those
sideboard.
lines.
Like
Right.
I have always cool as a 1 of in the sideboard, so that could just take its place as in the sideboard.
And then lastly, my big
I
thing
do-
is Prehensile Tail. This card lets you quadruple down and play
Yeah.
more of this combo.
Yeah.
Because you pick up another instance of Dual Needle Lunge. Because of how Prehensile works.
Yeah.
Which, like, I don't think it's necessarily. I think it's a win more idea, but
mhm.
it exists.
I don't mind inflating the deck a little bit and then let me test it and then yeet cards out of it as I please.
So you want to go higher than 66?
Yeah, that's fine. I've always enjoyed a little bit thicker decks, especially with like a sub theme of mill, even if it's a sub theme,
you
just
ready?
because cycling is
We'll do
evil.
this, and then I need a fun high block. I need a fun high block deck. It's just Immortal question.
immortal and prehensile.
I have put these 4 cards in as 1-ofs, so
Mhm.
that you may test them and see them and try them, right?
Yeah.
And because of that, we're going to take and in 70 cards, we're going to increase the amount of
Attacks.
that we're playing. So I'm going to take this Knife Lunge, push it up to the 4 of, and I'm going to take either Finger Daggers or Learn Technique, your choice, and push it up by 1.
Learn technique.
Learn Technique is a 3 of now. 23 cards is a ton, but 72 is also a ton, right?
Yeah.
Hold on. Let's do some math. Yeah, it's a little under a third of your deck. It's 3.1% or 31% rather than.
Which is about the ratio you want ish.
Yeah, especially with being able to lift stuff. Yeah, does this only count attacks? Each weapon attack you discard pile. They were thinking.
Yeah.
They put this word here. They were thinking. How
Yeah.
lame.
If only it said card, because draw your swords would be crazy.
Draw your swords would be nuts. We'd play way more weapon cards. I would be so down on this card then, because this one's a weapon.
I literally just went because the idea was I can grab either draw your swords or dangerous combatant. I think there's one more in the deck, some like another foundation or something that is a weapon foundation. Def maneuver surprisingly isn't one.
Yeah,
but
should
I thought there was.
I thought so too, but I'm not seeing it. We might. Enormous.
Oh,
Axe.
enormous axe.
Yeah, it's just these 3.
That was
Makes
the
sense.
idea of for diff
dual
that we
blade.
cut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're just gonna miss on it and be like, dang it.
But I've always played the gambling deck, and the new meme is "Let's go gambling."
Let's go gambling. All right, buddy. I think this is where I would feel pretty comfortable with a Levi deck. I think this deck is pretty neat. Ambush thrust, dual needle lunge, coordinated strike is just going to kill people.
And if it doesn't, I'm just dead in the water.
I think it's gonna be pretty good. Truthfully, I think it's going to be good. And if not, like, we could try this exact same idea as take out the ambush thrust dual needle lunge and make it a Vash deck, and I think that you'll have just as much fun, right? If there is one last thing that I would say, even including a singular copy of Risky is worth it. Taking out a 1 of Learn Technique or a 1 of Finger Daggers for a Risky. Just having it be a bonus card in your discard pile that, like, after your coordinated strike, if they go to 1 and you're out of gas, you're just like, well, I guess I'll blow up my stage and, like, play this move. It's pretty good and probably should just be banned. So
is it a weapon?
It is a weapon.
Jesus
It is a weapon. It is a weapon and a fury, thank goodness, because it definitely needed those keywords.
It totally just doesn't say, "Hey Mirko, play this."
Yeah. But with that, stay on the line long enough for me to shoot you the list, and you have a good rest of that, okay?
I will try.
All right, we'll catch you.
Thank you, sir.
Peace.